There is a question whether or not, when looking upon the opponent, whether Roberson Conceicao versus O'Shaquie Foster 2, O'Shaquie Foster, will he avenge that bogus decision decisively or not? I have a feeling that we're going to see something special out of O'Shaquie. Let's talk about this fight coming up. Live from the Turning Stone Resort and Casino in Verona this Saturday, November 2nd, there will be a rematch between Roberson Conceicao and O'Shaquie Foster, being a fight that begs a return because the first fight that took place in July of this year ended with a split decision that was so unpopular that even the former champion Foster was brought to almost tears to cry for the robbery. This man had posed such a display of boxing that the judges just totally overruled the normal scoring consensus, what a fight is judged upon. And when you look at the two combatants, O'Shaquie, now facing Roberson as a challenger, is motivated to not only show the judges what should be, but to take the fight into his hands and make sure that they see what a real champion is able to do. And I believe that's exactly how the fight is going to play out. O'Shaquie's going to show Roberson exactly what it means to be a world champion. He has had challenges from other fighters top notch in the sport, and he has done well, even in the face of challenges like being in someone else's backyard, as was the case when he faced Eduardo Hernandez back in October of 2023. This fight between he and Conceicao turned out to be a boxer versus a brawler. Now, Roberson brought a brawling effort in against O'Shaquie, and his record now stands at 19-2 with 1 draw and 9 KOs. He has never been noted to be someone to try to bang someone out, but when he stepped to O'Shaquie in this fight, he faced a man who was boxing about as great as you could. His last defeat was in 2022 against Shakur Stevenson. In that September, he lost a unanimous decision to Shakur Stevenson, who wouldn't engage with him whatsoever. In the event of the fight with O'Shaquie, the battle went back and forth as far as Roberson trying to take the fight to Foster, but Foster doing a tremendous job of picking off shots with his arms, his hands, and his elbows. Nothing very solid or clean landing by Roberson. And his record now drops to 22-3 with 12 KOs as a result of the split decision in July of this year against Roberson. But O'Shaquie can do things that Roberson can't do. Not only can he show great defense and fight the type of fight that looks smooth and he seems to come clean, but he can also go get it and get after it. He showed that when he faced the likes of Hernandez and also his previous fight against Abraham Nova, who was very aggressive, even more aggressive than Conceicao, and he won a split decision there. Though, again, in that fight, he was really showing the best of what he had. Conceicao entered the first fight between the two with aggression. He came out trying to impose himself, but it was not effective because Oshaki was able to counter that aggression with ring generalship, the ability to have mobility and to get in and out, move side to side, giving angles and countering clean and crisply. Though Roberson was the aggressor, it was ineffective aggression, and so therefore the judges were giving him consideration for what was not getting done. If shots are landing on the arms and shoulders and the hands, but they're not landing on the body or the head, you should not be awarding this man with points that are not being made during the action. So, in a rematch, Oshaki promises to be more offensive this time, and I expect that to really play a huge role, because when you talk about the two men, Conceicao is now 36 years of age. He's 5'10" and a half with a 70-inch reach. Oshaki is 31, and though he's a bit shorter at 5'8" and a half, he has a 72-inch reach, and he could utilize that reach to get the power shots off this time. And Roberson is not the most defensive fighter himself. Oshaki is the one who can be defensive when he wants to be, picking shots off and countering cleanly. I expect him to catch Roberson easier this time, with utilizing power punching in the moments of when he's able to strike. Also, with Conceicao being 36 years of age, I expect we to see Oshaki utilize body punching. Body punching would be a premium to take the legs away from the elder statesman in this situation, who has had some rough fights. I mean, when you talk about the Xavier Martinez fight, which he won back in 2022, the Emmanuel Navarrete fight, which he lost a majority decision back in, a majority decision draw back in 2023. And he's been in a lot of physical fights. So Oshaki should punish him, and on the inside throw power shots that are short and compact, and like I said, definitely not leave out the body punching. The decisive actions that he can show by fighting this way, which he has done in fights before, he can open things up for himself, and including, if not getting a knockdown, he can put Conceicao in such a grip that he finds himself where he's vulnerable. And I expect that to be the case. However, one thing that's immeasurable is the desire of a fighter. Now, we know that representing Brazil, that Conceicao being the first champion from there, he's been celebrated. He's actually enjoyed this ride and run, and he will be tough to defeat based on that. He's gonna come in thinking that he's the better man. He might be taller, but he's not necessarily the bigger man. He may be a guy that's highly motivated, but he doesn't have the motivations of a guy who has been robbed. And that's Oshaki, someone who has had to deal with a tremendous amount of ups and downs in the sport of boxing, as well as in his personal life. And it's one thing to lose when you lose to a competitive situation where you gave your best and the other gave their best, and it comes out that you come up short. But that was not the case in this fight. He did his best, and Roberson Conceicao was awarded over the victory. So I see in this rematch a situation where Oshaki once again comes to the forefront and shows us the true champion that I've recognized he to be. And if it doesn't happen for him that way, it was not meant to be. But that's not how I think it's going to go. I think Oshaki will pull it out. But what do you think? This is Stormy B Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know what you think about this rematch. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.